Hi, I'm Susan. I'm a mindful coach and mindfulness facilitator. Today, I wanted to talk about coming into stillness. What does that mean, coming into stillness? When we're learning meditation as a practice to increase our mindfulness, we learn more about stillness. When I was first starting, I couldn't sit still for the life of me. I would constantly be itching or scratching or moving my body. Slowly, over time, I became more able to sit. But then I tried to force sitting still, no matter what. You're the expert on your own body. And by tuning into your own internal wisdom, you will begin to build your capacity to know, is this the time to stay in stillness physically, or do I need to move? The stillness isn't the goal, although it's a part of the pathway to get us there. Because when we stay still physically, it allows us to tune into our reactivity. The movement of the body can be a distraction and not allowing us to experience what's actually going on. My teachers talk about as we become more still, we also learn to witness our reactivity, which gives us the space to see what's actually going on. So here's an example. When I have knee issues, and when I sit sometimes, my knees start to ache. And I can tune into the knees and see if I continue to sit still, if that's going to make the ache more pronounced and perhaps even cause harm to the knees, or if the ache comes and goes and it passes and it's just a discomfort. Your job, so to speak, is to tune into, is this a moment where sitting still and riding with the discomfort or the unpleasantness is helpful, or is it forcing it? There's a difference. And because you're your own expert, you're your own wise teacher internally, you get to drop in more deeply and tune into that. Sometimes being still is the solution. Sometimes movement is. So by tuning into that, you learn how to become still as a choice and not forcing yourself. It's important you sustain your own autonomy and choice, knowing what is right for you. Gwenka, who was the founder of Vipassana meditation, he talked about doing a vow hour where you sit for 1 hour without movement. I've done that a few times. It's pretty intense because the experience of the body sitting still can be quite overwhelming, and then it becomes all about the body. The Dalai Lama suggests that we move gently. We check into the issue, whether it's a sore neck, arms, knees, whatever is going on. And then we allow a slight movement if we need to, and then come back to stillness. The forcing it can be a problem. So, the powerful thing about beginning to sit in stillness more often is that we begin to notice our reactivity. We begin to notice how impulsive we can be to go with something rather than pausing and sitting with it. These forms of discomfort and learning to sit with them creates an awareness of how discomfort and unpleasantness rises and passes. In each moment, its very nature is one of impermanence. And we begin to know that. So when we come across the twists and trials of being human, when we come across discomfort and unpleasantness, we can know that this too shall pass with a deep inner knowing because we've practiced it over and over again in our seated practice. So, how do we bring this into our own practice? You can try the hour sitting as Gwenka, but most of us would want to start with a small practice, like 2 minutes. You set the timer, you go into your practice, you sit still for 2 minutes without moving. The Dalai Lama talks about a joke. Try sitting still when the mosquito's in the room. I was on a canoe trip once and I was sitting in my morning meditation practice when when a mosquito came and landed just in front of my ear here. And of course, normally on a canoe trip, I would smack the mosquito and get rid of it. And I was, okay, I'm going to try this sitting still. So the mosquito drew blood and then it flew away. It was unpleasant while it was drawing blood and then it went away. It was a really simple but profound teaching for me. So I invite you to try that. The Dalai Lama does say that his relationship with mosquitoes does not always work for him. They can be quite annoying. You're lying in your bed or in your tent and there's one or two mosquitoes buzzing around. That's not easy. But to get swept up as though the mosquitoes are the issue. The mosquitoes aren't the issue. The issue is my internal reactivity that can take me out to becoming where my mind is boinging around. So practice, try it. Learn what's happening inside. I invite you to join me in practice starting September 13th, Mindful Mondays at noon, or Wednesday mornings at 7:30. Or you can join my more advanced mindfulness-based stress reduction courses, or maybe you're ready for one-to-one. Come and join me for mindful coaching.